And welcome back to another week of Friday Night Fights. We're going into day 5 on the schedule, which I think is week 4 for everybody who's playing their games. With me as always is Charles.
Hello.
Hey Charles, how's it going over there?
Yeah, I'm good.
All right,
How
we're
about
good. What we're gonna do is we'll jump right into our what's our first segment, Charles?
The
Scorecards.
review, the recaps. Yeah.
Yeah, let's take a look at our scorecards, and we'll be right back. And welcome back to Friday Night Fights. This is our scorecard segment where we take a look at last week's games, see how you guys did, who's moving up, who's moving down. Last week, our main event pick by Charles was his own game, interestingly enough.
Yes.
And that was a barn burner, I hear. So tell us a little about that game, Charles.
In a completely fair and balanced decision, we went with the main event with my game.
Well, absolutely. I didn't suggest it otherwise. People are talking, though. Not me.
Oh yeah, are they?
Yeah.
Well, I felt like the opponent chose to give me the ball first, and that was a good decision, I guess. Not having guard, I struggled controlling the Yeti and the Strength 4 guy, the Oath. And then I was kind of forced to advance more quickly than I like, and ended up scoring something like turn 5, or yeah, I think it was turn 5. So that gives him plenty of time to score. He advances. I tried to put in some pressure. I tried to sack. I failed the leap, I guess, or maybe I just cannot put the ball on the ground. And he actually ends up with a chance to score, but he has only 2 rerolls. I believe he lost his leader player. Then he cannot pick up the ball. So we end the first half 1-0. And he comes back into the second half and gets a bunch of removals and just advances the ball again. I cannot create an opportunity on the ball, cannot sack it, and that's a 1-1.
Yeah, I'm looking over the stats here, and he had 56% ball possession compared to your 25%. But the one statistic that really stands out to me when I look at his block dice, he had 21 skulls compared to only 12 pows, 19 stumbles. So that was interesting. Although you had a lot of skulls as well, so it must have just been one of those days where the dice server was throwing skulls at everybody. That was ugly.
I re-rolled a sack attempt into a skull.
Oh, nice.
That was kind of painful, because if that ball was sacked, it could have been a different game, but we'll take those.
Yeah, his Yeti takes the MVP here, and your Witch Elf. So a good day all around. Looks like nobody died, so you're safe there. And
Except for my lineman.
You had a lineman death? It doesn't show up here. It just was 0 deaths.
No, but I got 3 busted linemen that game, so it wasn't that good.
Yeah, at least it wasn't a positional piece, though.
Sure.
Let's take a look at our next game. One cheese and the Grody Greens. 0-0 draw. This is interesting. Let's take a look at some statistics here. Ball possession's pretty even. Did you happen to get a chance to see this game?
No, this Skaven team keeps dodging me, I guess.
Yeah?
I don't know which time of the week they're playing, but I haven't been able to watch them, I don't think, at all this season.
Yeah.
I don't know.
KOs and casualties are pretty even. Grody Greens threw a lot more blocks here, and not a bad day of pickup on SPP, about 10 points for one cheese. Slow day for the Greens, only 7. And let's take a look at the dice here. Anything interesting here? I don't see anything for one cheese, and armor breaking pretty easily on the Grody Greens, 50% of the time. And their injuries, their injuries are ugly that they took. I didn't get to see this game. I can't really tell you what happened in it, but obviously nobody got to the end zone. It's unfortunate. Skaven couldn't do Skaven things, and the Grody Greens just couldn't remove them. Let's take a look.
Yeah, Nil is...
With Skaven, that's kind of unusual, yeah. I mean, usually Skaven can score at least once in 2 turns at some point in the game.
Right.
Yeah, Stump Force 1-0 win over Ars Gosha in the upset here. That's a nice one. Now, I think I called that one, didn't I? Sweet. I think I did.
wouldn't- Oh,
Let's just go with
okay.
that. Thanks, yeah.
Yeah,
Well,
but
if-
it was the upset of the season so
If not,
far.
I'll just edit it out, Charles. I think I picked Stump Force. Let's see, 41 blocks, sustained, 29, 3 casualties, 7... Ars Gosha just getting punched in the nose and knocked down. They just took a beating there. Did you happen to get to see this game?
Oh yeah, I had
All
to.
right. Give us an overview of what happened here.
So the dwarves go with 3 bribes and
3 bribes?
nice. A chainsaw.
Okay.
Yeah. They get some good removals early, and like in the first half, they get probably 2 people off the game. The Chaos have an interesting choice in defensive approach because they move to one side of the pitch. They basically just give progression to the other side to stay close together in order maybe to not give good fouls to the chainsaw.
Yeah.
So the dwarves, they obviously advance through the side that was given, and they keep most of their players brawling. So they just put like the ball carrier and 1 more guy to the free side, and they keep the rest of them punching. But when the dwarves get close to score, they actually leave a good opportunity for Chaos to sack the ball, which is I'd say impressive because the Chaos were taking kind of a beating at the time. They're not really finding removals, and they get a nice opportunity at the ball, but they fail the last GFI, and that's 1-0 dwarves. And so the second half, even with the damage that was caused, the Chaos show up with 11 players because of their deep bench.
Yeah.
But the dwarves, they keep doing damage. The chainsaw and the death roller both had great matches. And the Chaos, they just get stuck. Even though they had 11 players to go on their offense, they get stuck. They cannot go through the death roller. They keep losing players, and it's just an amazing defensive stop for the dwarves.
Yeah, one of the things that stood out here, Stump Force Chainsaw had 9 successes and only 1 failure. So, I mean, usually when I take a chainsaw, it's the other way around. It's like 1 failure, and then he's out for 15 turns. So, that chainsaw must have been getting some work in. That's nice to see.
And he also protected that player well because he didn't take many hits, and that's why one of the reasons why he was able to stay the whole time, causing damage.
So everybody in the division should go back and watch that game and see how to beat Ars Gosha. See if you can learn anything from that. Nice.
Yeah, what an upset.
Yeah,
amazing.
Absolutely amazing. Let's take a look. Boss Hog Outlaws 0-2 loss to Ace Trucking Company. I think we called this one. We thought he just had a lot of claw to overcome. Now, did you get a chance to see this game?
I didn't, but I was the only one picking Boss Hog again, and I might have to jump off the bandwagon.
You might have to jump off the bandwagon. Do you know anybody else that plays Chaos Dwarves that's currently really doing well in their division? You might want to stay and watch them. I
know a guy.
Do you know a guy? Okay. If not, I can hook you up with a guy. I think I know a guy who's in like first or second place, depending on when this is recorded. Yeah.
I might have to watch some games.
You might have to watch a few of his games, see how he's doing it. Let's take a look here. Blocks pretty much even. Ball possession definitely in the Ace Trucking Company's favor here. Casualties definitely in Ace Trucking Company's favor, as well as KOs. Terrible day for skill points for Boss Hog Outlaws. Beautiful day here for Ace Trucking Company, going over 20 points in skill points pickups. And let's take a look at some stats here. Armor only holding up 51% of the time for the Outlaws. That is just brutal.
Oh, okay.
That explains a lot of it. I mean, just every other hit is an armor break. His injuries held up. I mean, he was on the pitch. 78% of his hits were fine. It's just those 5 failures that came through there. Relying on Dauntless, it failed, it looks like. Let's take a look at some block dice here. Nothing stands out. A little high on the skulls, but nothing too major. Nice even day for Ace Trucking Company that way in the block dice. And let's take a look at their D6 dice. Pretty average here. I'd have to assume, just looking at this, Boss Hog Outlaws just had too much claw to deal with, and then Hobos just not lasting as long as you would hope that they do. But I think we all called this one. It's just Ace Trucking Company's been around forever. It's a well-developed team, and at any moment it can just put a beat down on you. Boss Hog's still coming up. I think he's only in his 3rd or 4th season now, so just one of those things.
but that puts a Strucking back in the game, I think.
Nice. Yeah, we'll take a
What-
look at
what a
that
big deal.
when we get to our pound for pound rankings. We'll see how they're doing. Let's take a look. Bloody Moe's versus Bring Out Your Undead. 0-1 loss for the Bloody Moe's, but Bring Out Your Undead getting a win. Now this is interesting. The Bloody Moe's had 81% ball possession compared to Bring Out Your Undead. Now, Charles, did you happen to see this game?
I haven't.
I saw this game. Let me tell you something.
Oh, nice.
This was one of the best games I've ever seen for positioning. Both coaches positioned perfectly on every drive, and I just kept thinking, how can they move the ball? And neither team could really move the ball. And they were getting a few removals here and there, and Mighty Bloody Moe's was starting to make a move towards the end of the game, like turn 13, 14, just starting to come down the left side of the field, kind of switches to the right side. Rand the Mad pops the ball out, I want to say turn 16, and then does some elf nonsense with his Khemri team. Runs, goes for it, picks up the ball, and has to chuck it on a 6, and he gets it. He goes, I'm going to say, at least 15, how many squares? 15 squares total to get the touchdown. It was just insanity.
Wow.
And I've never seen, I mean, he did a Hail Mary. I assume he was just hoping for the best here, because that, you can't plan that. Needed a 6, got the 6, and catch and touchdown. And I was like, oh my God, I about fell out of my chair when I see that. And that explains why he has 0% ball possession here, but he still got the win. It was simply amazing.
Wow.
Yeah. And like I said, great positioning. Both teams, I mean, both teams should hold their head up high on this one. This was just one of those dice rolls, won it for you, but both teams pick up a nice amount of skill points here. Let's take a quick look at dice rolls. Unless you had something to say, Charles?
Yeah, not even Rand believed he would win that one.
I know.
But he did. So it's an amazing victory for them. I think they are on the Challenger Cup spot right now.
Let's take a look at his regen, because I think, yeah, here, 3 successful regens and 2 failures. Because he was taking a beating a few times, but his players kept coming back. And like I said, both coaches' position was just, it was really good for both of them. They both did exactly what they needed to do. And it's just one of those wacky things. Bring Out Your Undead's pass here. 1 for 1. Yeah. So that was, and one catch, no failures. That was an incredible play. And I think what we're gonna see that play later in the show, I'm sure.
I was about to say, it sounds like a play of the week.
Oh boy.
Candidate.
Yeah, it was definitely one of those moments. And then also in the chat, we were watching the game, and people in the chat were like, "Oh my, did you guys all see?" I mean, like 3 people just blew up saying, "Did you see that?" It was amazing. Let's take a look. 2-1 win for the Gourmet Governors over the Bogue Bombers. Once again, I think I called this one correctly, didn't I? I think I did.
Say yes. Let's.
I think I did. Gourmet Governors, Bogue Bombers. Let's take a look. Ball possession is pretty similar. 2 passes, 3 passes. A lot of passing for the Bogue Bombers. Blocks pretty similar. The KOs, the Governors just beating the heck out of them, getting a lot of KOs. Any deaths? I don't see. 1 death for each coach here. 6 KOs. That's probably the difference right there. The Bogue Bombers took 6 KOs throughout the game. Probably just losing players too quickly. Nice day of skill point pickups for both coaches. And let's take a look at some dice rolls. Did you guys see this game?
Yes.
Okay, tell us a little about it.
I was interested to see how the Vampires are doing, because they turned the season around. Before the game, I felt like the humans could keep their style of offense that they have been employing, but they went into a full cage against the Vampires.
Oh, that's not a good idea.
That cage was immediately dismantled.
Yep.
And so everything gets crazy. The humans have to dodge, pick up a ball in traffic. They try to get away with that ball, but they end up sacked. And the Vampires pick up the ball, 3+ pass, get away and score. That's 1-0.
Yep.
And then on their offensive drive, the Vampires advance. They kill a human blitzer in the process. When they farm a cage in the opposing half, the humans fireball it. They get an average result. You can't say it was unfair to either side.
Yeah, it looks here like 3 successful and 2 failed on that cage when they fireball.
So that's about average.
Yep.
The ball doesn't fall though, but they are able to get a sack. They pick up the ball. They run away with it. They stall for as much as they can, and they score.
Okay.
And then the vampires have 2 turns to score. They show up with a kind of an elf passing game, just basic put some scoring threats and pass the ball, score, and they win the game that way.
Sure. Yeah, that was the first time I played vampires. That was the hardest thing to learn, is that your cages are just basically useless. And then their strength 4 guys just gonna step in there and punch you, and then the other strength 4 guys just gonna come in and take the ball. So they're definitely hard to play, especially at this level. Now I think when you start to get to this TV, they start to get enough skills where they can really give you the business if you're not used to it. 2-1 win.
It's a very interesting team. I like how they changed the game.
Yeah.
From a simple 2-1 grind style, they actually do wacky stuff and they change the game. Yeah.
Last matchup, Murdery Space Elf Troop. 2-1 win over the Romanian Rebels. Let's take a look. Did you happen to see this game?
Yeah, I felt like this was Orofer feeling the pressure a little bit. This was the first game, I'm gonna say that, because it started well. They looked patient on the offense, doing everything right, keeping up the positioning, and it's a mirror match. You try to get little advantages anywhere you can, right?
Yep.
But and that goes on until they see an opportunity to hit the Witch Elf. And when he does see that, he drops everything, he leaves the ball open, goes to blitz the Witch Elf, he gets pushes, and then he grid re-rolls it into Dub's Coast.
Oh, darn.
Yeah, he just got the bloodlust to try to kill that Witch Elf.
It's understandable, though. Yeah.
Yeah, maybe.
Oh, when I see those ladies, that's the first thing I do is punch them in the nuts. So.
Sure. And so there was a ball on the ground in the rain. Everything gets weird. Everything gets complicated until the troop eventually gets the ball, dodges a sack, and I felt like the Rebels did a weird dodge on that play. I didn't understand why the 3+ dodge was there, but that's why they didn't have a reroll to sack the ball, and that's 1-0 for the troop. And then coming back, the troop gets a defensive blitz, and the Rebels, they started turning rolling 1 in 36 dodge.
Ouch.
Which I didn't feel like it was necessary because there were some free players and one of them have tackle, so he could have just sacked the ball without dodging first, and then of course the 1 in 36 is always going to be painful, but if you throw it on a after you already did what's important,
yeah,
that's cool. And then that's 2-0 troop, and then actually without the pressure of competing for the game, maybe the Rebels did much better. They
kind of calmed down a little and got back into their groove.
I thought so, because on the second half they are already down by 2. The opponent has the ball. They use the wizard on a 3-man fireball, which is questionable, but it works. They recover and quickly score for a 2-1, giving themselves a little bit of a chance still. They are actually able to get a sack, which is great. They stop the opponent offense. But then they throw an interception while trying to move the ball. So it was actually impressive that they are able to come back after such a bad first half. But the first half, some mistakes cost them.
Yeah, this was a really good week for all the games. A lot of interesting matchups and a lot of interesting results here. Let's take a quick commercial break. We'll come back and look at our leaderboard with our pound for pound segment right after this. Welcome back to Friday Night Fights. This is our pound for pound segment. We take a look at our leaderboard, see who's moved up, who's moved down, who's not going anywhere. Let's take a look at the top of the division. We have Iron Master now. Now, was he in first place last week? CZ is
tied with CZ.
Yeah.
I don't remember what the TD differential was.
Well, the TD differential just moved 2 points up towards Iron Master, so this is gonna be a great top 4 challenge here, and I think Ran the Mad is, he's gonna be making moves here too. So
Yes.
he's right on your heels there. If you can make the playoffs or not, that'll be interesting. Although I gotta be honest here, everybody from 8th place to 5th is still in it. That would be everybody
both
with 2
the
wins.
Ace Trucking and the Vampires started off losing twice, I think, and they both came back
Yeah,
the
absolutely.
last 2 weeks.
9th place through 14th. It's going to be a hard road. It's not impossible, but definitely going to have a harder road to get to the playoffs if that is your goal. And even if it's not your goal, you can make it hard for anybody else if they have to get through you to make it to that playoff spot. Feel free to knock off We Chillin'. They don't deserve to be up there, do they? I mean, come on, Charles.
Probably not.
Yeah, probably not. 2 Dark Elf teams at the top of this division. That is unacceptable. You people need to start killing these elves. That's ridiculous. Yeah, Ars Gosha and Yeti to Conquer still in the driver's seat, and I would say can pretty much be the masters of their own fate here if they keep going like they are. Now, then again, Ziazetta just lost. You guys have been given the blueprint on how to do that. Go watch that game, see what to do. The Norse team, I don't know. They just eventually implode, I guess you hope for.
Yeah, that's always the danger.
Yeah.
They already took some damage in the season.
Yep.
And it's
Armor 7, you're going to go up against one of these teams that does not care, and they just start stomping on your positional players. That could be funny. So, it's going to be definitely an interesting race. We're coming close to mid-season now. We're just a few games away from the mid-season point. And I think that's the point at where mid-season where you guys got to start figuring out if you're going to play for development or continue to push on for the playoffs. Like I said, nobody's technically out of it, but some of you guys with no wins yet, 1 win, it's going to be a struggle. Don't give up.
yes.
What we'll do is we'll take a quick look at our play of the week from this week, featuring Ran the Mad, and we will come back after that segment with our main event. Stay tuned. And welcome back to Friday Night Fights. This is our main event and our undercard. Charles takes a look at the matchups, figures out what he thinks is the main event for the week, the game you probably want to tune into. It's co-main event, and then everybody else on the undercard. So Charles, who do you have up for our main event pick this week?
Oh, it has to be Ars Gosha and Yeti to Conquer, 2 of the top teams right now, hopefully murdering each other, so the division hopes, I guess.
Yep, that makes a lot of sense. Why don't we jump in here and we'll take a look. Ars Gosha coming in at 2150, Yeti to Conquer 1940. Giving up a little inducement money there. Let's see, Ars Gosha comes in missing 2 rookie beastmen. Not sure how important they are, or if maybe they're even getting cut here. You've got a movement busted beastmen here. Yeti to Conquer coming in missing a lineman, so very close, even matchup in this one. Charles, what's
Yeah,
the...
most of the weapons are there.
Yeah?
I'm sorry, I interrupted you.
No, that's okay. I was gonna say, yeah, looks like all of the killing power for both teams is gonna show up. Now, I guess it matters whose fires the best or the hottest real quick. The only thing interesting in this game is that Claw doesn't really matter anymore because, I mean, the Norse are already armor 7. So what do you what do you like in this one, Charles? Or do you have a key to the game?
Oh, an interesting thing is that these 2 guys are clanmates, so there's gonna be infinite banter either way.
Yeah.
Makes the game even more important.
Yeah.
I just think the Norse have more bodies. Missing that bench is gonna make it so if Ars Gosha loses the coin toss, they might show up to the second half with like 8 players or something. and that's trouble. So the Norse also get endorsements, which made a big difference on the last game. So I'm picking the Norse.
All right, I am going to caster curse Ars Gotia and say Ars Gotia gets it done. I think their amount of kill power they still have with all the mighty blow, they have enough tackle pieces. I just think they've got enough to deal with the Yeti, knock him out, keep their strength advantage, and put down bodies quickly. So that'll be an interesting game to watch. And let's take a look. At the end of this segment, we'll take a look at our ELO predictions from Charles. What do you call that ELO prediction software? I don't have it before
Rebbl
yet.
Elo.
There you go.
Yeah.
All right.
Just because I copied the algorithm, I have to use the name, of course.
I understand. Let's take a look at our next game up here. We Chillin' versus the Grody Greens. We Chillin' coming at 1780. Grody Greens coming in at 1790.
Yeah, I get to face Miracle. Huh?
There we go. Yeah, the passing lanes will be slow, that's for sure. Al, looks like you come on with a wounded lineman missing the game. How many players are you at now? 10? It's interesting.
With the busted one, I think it's 10, but I think I have 8 for the game or something like that.
So you probably will give up a little inducement money here. I assume Grody Greens come in completely healthy. Plenty of strength, plenty of kill power on this team. Not a lot of tackle though. Just one piece with tackle. What do you like in this matchup, Charles?
Yeah, I've never beat Nurgle. I've got some draws.
Yeah.
But I'm picking myself with not a high degree of confidence.
Yes.
I think maybe this is gonna be the one.
Oh,
Can it be?
a bold prediction, sir. I like that you're picking yourself again finally. I mean, that tells me you don't respect the Grody Greens. So just for that,
Ooh.
the Grody Green, because you didn't pick yourself against the Chemring, you'd never beaten them before. So I'm going to go against you here, and I'm definitely going to pick the Grody Greens for the win. I think you give them a little bit of TV money, and they shut down the passing lanes, and they just don't move, and you don't go through them, and you're...
Oh, and by the way,
Yeah.
I forgot about Disturbing Presence on my last game.
Yeah?
So I had to pass on a 3+ instead of a 2+.
Oh, that's so terrible. I hate to hear. Oh, 3+. Whatever will you do having to slum it like a human team? Oh, shut up, elf nonsense. Nobody wants to hear your boo-hoo story.
But that reroll ended up being important in my opinion.
Good. Punished. You won't forget this week, I'm sure. So, yeah, let's take a look at our next matchup, which would be Ace Trucking Company, One Cheese. Both coaches I've heard of. Ace Trucking Company 2010 versus One Cheese 1880. So like what, 120 TV difference there. And let's take a look and see what we got here. Ace Trucking Company comes in completely healthy. One Cheese, a rat team that's completely healthy. This is madness. I've never seen a rat team completely healthy before. You're gonna have to blame the previous opponent. Now this rat team has 2 blitzers with plenty of killing power. I really like that. Gutter runner with leap, wrestle, no strip yet, but plenty of wrestling ability here to get the ball. And do they have any big hand? They have a big hand piece here to go get the ball. So they've got all the tools to just knock you down, take the ball, throw it, and go. But Ace Trucking Company comes in with plenty of kill power of their own, lots of tackle, and boy, this is a hard matchup. With my Chaos Dwarves, I struggle against gutter runners if you can't get to them just because their movement, and they just jump in wherever they want, and you think, well, they're not going to make that leap, and they try to make it, and they do. It's just one of those weird things where you can't predict the rat coach because he'll just do anything to get that ball.
Yeah, so I think that's the point of the team, going for the high risk plays, and so anything can happen.
High risk, high reward, sure. Who do you like in this matchup?
Yeah, I haven't watched much of the Reds. In my mind, the matchup is really close. So I'm picking the Reds because they also have claws, but they are much faster and they probably got a wizard. So I'm going with the fast boys.
All right, I am gonna also go with One Cheese in this one. I think, as I said earlier, they've got all the tools to get the ball. It's gonna be very hard. Let's see, does he have strip ball? I think I said no strip ball, so that's gonna make it a little easier for the Ace Trucking Company. I don't know if Ace Trucking Company generally carries on their bull centaurs or if they just carry on a hobgoblin. It doesn't look like he has ball centaur skills here, so I'm assuming
they have no sure hands.
he's got a hobgoblin with sure hands, so I'm assuming he's carrying on a hob here. I think he's got a lot of kill power though, and some nice grab pieces here. Boy, this one could go either way, but I'm gonna stick with my original guess here. I think the rats can do this one and take the victory. Let's take a look at our next matchup. Bring Out Your Undead versus Stump Force. Bring Out Your Undead coming in at 1710 and Stump Force coming in at 1860. So let's see. Bring Out Your Undead missing one skeleton, and Stump Force coming in completely healthy. This would be an interesting one. Let's see. I can't bet against Random Mad. I really want to because I want to see him die a horrible death, but unfortunately he just keeps winning. So I'm just going to go off of Bring Out Your Undead until they prove to me that they can no longer win.
Yeah, they come from a nice victory over the Nurgle. They will have a big strength advantage other than the Death Roller, which is good news that the dwarves are not playing at home and they don't get a bribe this time, so the Death Roller can at most play half the game.
Yeah, that'll be...
And I have to go with Random At.
Yeah, he's got enough strength pieces on there, and he's got a couple of guard pieces in here, so he should be able to muscle.
Stump Force could pull off another miracle. Let's see if they still have it in them.
Yeah, remember Stump Force, if it's turn 16, just chuck the ball. It seemed to work for Rand last week. It might work for you. You never know. Throw a Hail Mary pass to the Death Roller. See how that works out. Oh, wait. No, it doesn't have any hands, does it? Darn it.
Yeah, it can.
Oh, well. That would be even funnier. Let's take a look at our next matchup. That would be Bogue Bombers versus Boss Hog Outlaws. Bogue Bombers coming in 1,600 points versus Boss Hog Outlaws Bloody 1940. Woof. That is a lot of points. For our team. Let's take a look. Healthy Bogue Bombers, and by healthy, I mean they don't have anybody on their injury list here, but they don't look like they have a full... Maybe they have 11 players here. And Boss Hog Outlaw coming in with 16 players and completely healthy and just jacked with skills. Boy, who do you like in this one, Charles? I'll let you pick first on this one.
I think it's a tough one to predict, but the season has been a bit kinder to the humans.
Okay.
So I think it could go either way, and maybe it's a good matchup for the Boss Hogs. But I have a feeling the Bogue Bombers can pull it off.
All right. Now, normally I would pick the humans for this, but I think he's got enough. The Boss Hog Outlaws have enough kill skills, stand firm, tackle, guard. I think they've got enough in them that they can get removals. I mean, they've got plenty of Mighty Blow on this team now, so every hit or every other hit should be an armor break here against these weak armor 8 teams. So it's all going to come down to those early removals, I assume, on that kickoff. So Bogue Bombers, you're not going to be able to slip by this time. Definitely going to pick Boss Hog Outlaws. All right, let's go to our next matchup here. Romanian Rebels, Blighty Moes. Romanian Rebels come in. Jeez, this is the fattest Dark Elf team I've ever seen. 2020 versus a 2070 Blighty Moes. Now, the Blighty Moes are usually pretty bloaty. I mean, you're playing Nurgle at this high level. You kind of are used to that. But I don't know what's going on here with the Romanian Rebels. Why are they so bloaty, Charles?
I think they are using gold in a smart manner, buying linemen, stocking them up, because they're gonna die anyway. So if you reach that 150k, always buying a lineman. He already has a stadium improvement, so he keeps buying those linemen because he knows that they're gonna die anyways.
Yeah, he's got some nice pieces for his linemen. I mean, he's got, other than 2 rookies, he's got wrestle, kick, block, guard. I mean, he's got plenty of linemen with pieces that can get stuff done, so that's interesting.
And he has a dirty player as well.
Yeah, I like that. Dirty player fouling elf. Nurgle comes in, looks like they're healthy. Plenty of just Nurgle-y stuff. Claw, Mighty Blow, tackle. Plenty of tackle on this team with his warriors and his Pestigore. He's got a lot of skills here that the Pestigores can get the ball, take it, and run with it. You know, with the 2 heads, strip ball. Is this who? Ken?
the Strength 6 Beast team?
No. This is the other one. This is just block. He's got block guard, stand firm.
So I faced the Strength 6. Okay.
Yeah, this is the other team. I think in this matchup, I'm definitely going with the Blighty Moes. I think they've got enough here to do it and get it done. They've got the pieces that can get removals that they need, and then trying to pass through all of that stink is going to be really hard for the Dark Elves. Who do you like in this one?
Yeah, I couldn't have said it better. It's an elf team without inducements,
Yep.
without a crazy sacking threat. So what they have to do is actually go for the base game, actually outblock the opponent, actually roadblock their advancement, so they have to make mistakes, and that's more difficult to do than just killing.
Yep.
And so I'm gonna go with the kill team.
I agree with me, and I'm glad to see you agree with me as well. Last up, Murdery Space Elf Troop versus the Gourmet Governors. Murdery Space Elf Troop comes in at 1810. Gourmet Governors come in at 1720. Motley versus Luminous here. Let's take a look here. Murdery Space Elf Troop comes in completely healthy, and the Gourmet Governors looks like have one Thrall out, but they still have 13 players on the pitch. So this will be an interesting one. Let me take a look at some skills here. Both teams relatively new. I think they're 1 or 2 season teams. Boy, the Vampires have so many things now that are going on here. Boy, oh boy. I hate to... I've bet against Murdery Space Elf Troop before and they burnt me. I'm gonna stick with Murdery Space Elf Troop. I think in a matchup of elf versus elf nonsense, I think the real elves win this one. What do you like in this one?
I will agree with you, even though it makes the show boring, because the elf troop, they look too strong right now. They only lost once. They have looked great everywhere else. Although I put this one as a co-main event because I'm really interested to see what the governors are gonna do against the elves.
Yeah, absolutely. That'll be an interesting game either way. I think that's it. What we'll do is we'll take a quick commercial break and we'll come back with the end of the show. And welcome back to our final segment on Friday Night Fights. Now, we didn't have a guest this week. Charles is on vacation, so we had to kind of move our schedule around. We couldn't get anybody at the last second to do this. We still did record at our regular time, but it was kind of hectic. Let's take a look quickly at our ELO system here, Charles. Let me see if I can find that. Charles, any news around Rebbl?
Oh, the feedback I got from the G-Man people, I see one guy had an idea to do something similar than the ELO system with machine learning, and we're gonna work together into maybe something even more high-tech than this.
Oh, nice. Now, machine learning, you're gonna have a robot playing for me? That'd be awesome, because I stink.
That's against the rules, though.
Looking at your ELO system here, it looks like Ars Gotia is not favored against Yeti to Conquer, 35 to 64% or so. That's
yeah, because Yeti to Conquer has a crazy high rating, and it's with good reason, because every time they play, they seem to win, right?
Yeah, absolutely. How'd your game go this week, Charles?
Oh,
I'm just kidding. We talked about your game. Nobody cares. How'd your clan match go, Charles?
I kind of didn't kill the opponent's team, but I still won, and I got 71 blocks, and the guy still has a team, so it's kind of disappointing in that manner, but we did win the whole clan matchup, and you put some guy off the pitch, I guess.
Yeah, I had a good time. He only had 2 players left in clan, so he had to. There was 2 killers, and he said, "I'm gonna give up now," instead of continuing to get, because I would have just stomped on his players and then scored a touchdown. So that was probably the right thing to do. I had one of those games where you just kind of go off and throw a lot of cool dice. REL, I tied against Callisti and his Skaven, and that really stinks because now I'm in 2nd place, and as I showed on the ELO screen here, oof, I'm only 33% chance to beat Foul Target's Wood Elf team. He's a really good coach, so that's gonna get ugly.
and Wood Elf is a really strong team.
Duh, I know they're the worst. Well, they're one of the worst. Who do you got facing next week, Charles? You worried about them? You can tell me. Nobody's listening.
Oh yeah, I worry about it. It's the halfway point of my big bash streak.
Yeah.
If this
Nurgle team can put your team into the ground, it could be over for you for the rest of the season.
Yes, it was what happened last season, for instance, where I took a lot of damage and took me a lot of time to get the team back together.
Yep. Yeah, I remember the rebuilding season. Yep.
Yeah, and then this is where it gets ugly because I already kind of lost 3 linemen on the last game. If I keep losing more players, it's gonna get ugly.
Yeah. All right. Well, cool. Everybody have a good week this week. Let us know about your games. Again, send in any clips you have if you want them submitted for Play of the Week. Hopefully at the end of the season, we'll get enough, and we will definitely be giving out a prize for that. And let us know when you're playing so we can kind of tune in at the same time. We'd love to hear from you because you guys are really hard to get a hold of sometimes, I'm telling you. All right.
Yeah.
Charles, any other parting words?
No, good luck out there.
All right. See ya. Bye.
See ya.